Okay, picture this. Mornings that actually run smoothly.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, and calmer evenings where you feel like you really understand your child.
Especially when they're feeling, rigid or anxious.
Or just completely overwhelmed, because for so many parents, the day-to-day with a sensory child, it can feel incredibly isolating, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like you're just lost sometimes.
Exactly, like navigating a maze without a map.
And that feeling. It's why today we're doing this deep dive.
Right into Carolyn Dalgliesh's book, The Sensory Child Gets Organized.
Mm-hmm. Proven systems for rigid, anxious, or distracted kids.
And she comes at this from such a unique place, doesn't she?
She really does, both a parent and a professional organizer.
That's key.
And her book, it's just brilliant. It bridges that gap.
Like between what? Like the clinical stuff and...
Exactly. Between the essential clinical support and those, well, practical, real-world things you can do at home.
the stuff your doctor or therapist might not always get into.
Precisely. The in-home solutions.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive.
Yeah. What are we hoping people take away?
We want to pull out the most impactful strategies, the ones you can actually do,
Easy to implement things.
to help bring some peace, some understanding into your home.
And really help your child thrive.
Yeah.
Give you those tools.
So when Dalgliesh talks about a sensory child, what exactly does that mean? It's not just one thing, is it?
No, not at all.
Huh.
She's highlighting that these kids, whether they have ADHD or autism spectrum disorders like ASD or Asperger's, sensory processing disorder,
SBD, right.
yeah, SPD, or even pediatric mood disorders, OCD, bipolar. The label isn't the main point.
Okay.
The point is they all fundamentally require special organizing solutions.
Yeah.
That's her genius.
So the underlying need for structure that fits their unique wiring is kind of universal across these diagnoses.
Exactly. It accommodates their unique processing.
And it's not only about those primary diagnoses either. She brings up some really interesting emerging evidence, too.
Linking environmental factors like Lyme disease and PANDAS.
PANDAS, that's the one connected to strep, right? Pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with strep.
That's the one. It's thought to potentially trigger or, worsen challenges like OCD or tics in some kids.
Adding another layer of complexity for parents trying to figure things out.
Absolutely. And it's worth noting, PANDAS specifically, it's still not widely understood or accepted everywhere in the medical community yet.
Good point. And Lyme disease, too. That seems to be cropping up more with potential neurological effects.
It is. It just shows how varied the influences on a child's sensory system can be.
So let's maybe break down some of these common profiles she mentions, like sensory processing disorder, SPD. What does that look like practically?
Well, with SPD, it's really about how kids respond to all sensory input.
Everything. Sounds, textures, taste.
All of it. And that can directly impact, well, almost everything.
Right.
Social interactions, learning, emotional development, attention, coordination.
Wow, okay. Fine motor skills, too.
Yeah, even speech and motor skills, how they take in the world through their senses.
And then ADHD.
For ADHD, she highlights Russell Barkley's definition, focusing on it as a developmental disorder of self-control.
Self-control meaning problems with attention span, impulse control.
Exactly. An activity level.
Mhm.
But the core challenge is often that inability to inhibit behavior.
Which makes things like organizing or finishing tasks incredibly hard.
Absolutely. And it can often mimic other diagnoses too, which makes things tricky.
Then there's anxiety. The book mentions it's diagnosed in as many as 1 in 8 kids.
Yeah, and often starts really young. Dalgliesh paints this picture of like a child's heart racing over just routine things.
That's the unhealthy anxiety she talks about, getting in the way of just normal life.
It can be the main issue, the primary diagnosis, or very often it's a secondary challenge.
Something that pops up because of the other difficulties.
Exactly. It just amplifies everything else.
And autism spectrum disorders, ASD or Asperger's, affecting, what, 1 in 88 kids? Even more for boys.
That's right. 1 in 54 for boys, according to the stats she cites. And for these kids, life can just be incredibly confusing, overwhelming.
Because of things like restricted interests or challenges with social cues.
Yeah, social interactions, nonverbal cues are tough. And sometimes periods of explosive or really rigid behaviors.
So for them, the key is how information is presented.
Absolutely fundamental. It needs to be structured and consistent. That helps reduce the overwhelm.
What really stood out to me was the discussion on coexisting conditions, comorbidities.
Oh yeah, that's huge. The CDC data, like 50% of kids with ADHD also having something else.
Like a learning disorder or anxiety or ODD, depression.
Right. And the big takeaway there for you as a parent is if you're only focused on one diagnosis.
You might be missing a huge piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. You need that holistic view. Addressing one thing can help the others.
And these primary disorders, they can lead to secondary symptoms.
Totally. Like the example she gives, an ADHD child develops anxiety about sitting still.
Because they know it's hard for them, and they get in trouble for it. Makes sense.
Which brings up a really fascinating point Dalgliesh makes. What about those times when your child seems better?
Oh, yeah, the good days, where you think maybe they're outgrowing this.
Right. But she says one of the most consistent things about neurological disorders is actually inconsistency.
Inconsistency is consistent.
Pretty much. Those periods of being better, they're usually just part of that common inconsistency, not a sign they're cured.
Wow. That's actually a huge relief to hear.
Isn't it? It means those good days don't invalidate the struggle on the hard days.
And you can stop that cycle of false hope or blaming yourself when things get tough again.
Exactly. It shifts the focus to consistent, long-term support, regardless of how they present on any given day.
Okay, that insight is incredibly powerful. So understanding that inconsistency, where do we start with practical support?
Dalgliesh says step one is becoming an objective observer.
Objective. She says observe with compassion, but not empathy. That sounds kind of cold.
I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but the idea is if you get too caught up in their feeling, you lose your ability to step back and help solve the problem.
So you feel for them, but you don't necessarily feel with them in that moment.
Precisely. It allows you to stay calm and think clearly about what needs to happen.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
And how do we practice being objective?
Journaling. It's a really powerful, non-judgmental tool she recommends.
Like tracking food habits, you see patterns when you write it down.
Exactly. It makes the patterns undeniable. It's concrete, visual.
So how often should you do it? What works best?
Well, she suggests different ways. You could journal multiple times a day, kind of as things happen.
Okay.
Or set a specific time each day. Or maybe just around specific events, good or bad.
Or even weekly for a broader view.
Right, for a more objective interpretation.
Yeah.
And the key is asking the right questions.
Like what?
Like, when does the behavior change? What seems to cause it? Are there triggers that keep popping up?
New playmates, quick transitions, maybe having to do something they don't like.
Exactly. Or specific times a day, homework time, getting dressed, bedtime struggles.
She also mentions calendar journaling.
Yeah, using a wall calendar or an app, just simple codes.
T for tantrum, A for anxious.
TC for transition challenge, D for distracted, R for rigid. It gives you that visual overview of patterns over time.
This observation then helps you understand how your specific child processes and learns, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Because most typical kids, they learn using multiple senses, right? Even if one is dominant.
Sure.
But Dalgliesh points out, many sensory kids develop a dominant learning style much earlier. And often, they can only really work with one style at a time.
Okay, that's a really crucial distinction. What does that look like?
Well, think about it. A child might be 100% visually engaged, maybe reading a book, totally zoned in.
And you call them for dinner and nothing?
Exactly. Their auditory processing is effectively off. Or maybe their tactile processing is offline while they're listening intently.
So identifying their dominant way of taking things in is vital for actually communicating effectively.
And for setting up environments that actually support them, instead of working against their wiring.
And you can even get insights directly from your child, which I thought was cool, like using self-portraits.
Yeah, isn't that neat? She suggests looking at details, like a really big detailed mouth.
Might mean they need strong input when eating, chewy foods, spicy, crunchy, or maybe they have sensitive taste.
Could be either. Or big hands or feet in the drawing.
Maybe hinting at fine motor challenges or understanding body position, that vestibular proprioceptive stuff.
And the simple genius part is you can just ask them, hey, why did you draw your hands so big? They might tell you exactly what's going on for them.
I love that. And the All About Me sheet.
Another great tool. It's a worksheet with questions leasing, favorite things, least favorite, friends, foods, what they think people like or don't like about them.
What they're good at, not so good at.
Right. And she suggests you fill one out too.
To normalize it. Make it about self-awareness for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can adapt it if writing is hard, type it for them, write for them. It's about gathering their perspective.
Okay, so we start to understand who these kids are. We're observing their patterns. Yeah. But then what? How do you handle those moments of overwhelm?
This is where she introduces what she calls the golden tool.
The golden tool. Sounds important.
It really is. It's her core framework pretty much for any situation that feels overwhelming or confusing.
Okay, what is it?
It boils down to asking yourself three key questions. First, how can I break this task down into smaller, more manageable steps for my child?
Makes sense. Break it down. What's second?
Second, how can I eliminate some of the distracting stimuli? That could be external noise, visual clutter, or even internal stuff like anxiety.
Reducing the sensory load.
Yeah.
Okay. And third,
Third, what visual aid can I create to support the task at hand?
break it down, eliminate distractions, use visuals.
That's it. It's powerful because it forces a structured, thoughtful approach instead of just reacting in the moment.
And she says you can apply this to almost anything.
Pretty much. From homework meltdowns to getting ready for school, it's the ultimate problem-solving lens for parents in these situations.
Okay, that tool seems incredibly useful, and it leads right into creating supportive environments at home, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The fundamentals of sensory-friendly spaces are about, well, first, supporting those common sensory challenges we talked about.
Right.
Defining areas and tasks with clear visual aids, incorporating some kind of escape and regulate area.
A calm down spot.
And this is important, bringing your child's current fascinations into their spaces and organizing systems.
Using what they love.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk bedroom. How do you design it for calm? Color seems important.
Very. Dalgliesh suggests lighter tones, yellows, tans, warm creams can feel cozy. Light blues and greens are great for calming anxiety and visual overwhelm.
And avoid bold, bright colors. Too much stimulation.
Often, yes. For visually sensitive kids, it can be really jarring.
What about the space itself? She mentions the right tight space.
Yeah, that comforting cocoon feeling. Think beds under eaves or with canopies or tent tops.
Even the bottom bunk bed can provide that sense of enclosure.
Exactly. It feels safe and secure. And for settling down at night,
Beyond just routine.
invest in those sensory supports. Special soft blankets, maybe a weighted blanket if that works for your child, or those snug Lycra bed sheets that give deep pressure.
Things that physically help calm their nervous system.
Right. Consistent routines are still vital, of course. Gentle night lights, maybe some sleepy music, and reducing visual clutter is huge.
Like putting toys away.
A book bin on wheels you can move into the closet. Maybe a bedside organizer for just a few essential things so they're not actually in the bed creating distractions.
Got it. What about the closet? Clothes can be a nightmare.
Oh, definitely. For everyday clothes, she often recommends bins outside the closet or open shelving inside.
Why is that?
Easier access, especially for kids with fine motor challenges or low frustration tolerance. Less fiddling with hangers or drawers.
Makes sense. Keep it simple.
And use clear labeled bins, ideally with pictures. Swimming, winter clothes, soccer, super clear.
Visuals again.
Always visuals. Vertical shelf organizers can work well too, or hooks with picture labels for things like pajamas or bathrobes.
And if the bedroom is also the playroom.
Keep toy storage minimal in there if possible. And definitely use labeled clear bins to keep things contained and visually less chaotic. Reinforce those boundaries.
Now, here's something I found really interesting, the wall of success.
Ah, yes. This is such a fantastic idea because so many sensory kids, they struggle with low self-esteem, right? Negative thinking, anxiety.
Because daily life is often harder for them.
Exactly. So the wall of success combats that, since many are visual learners.
It turns that negative tape in their head into a positive visual.
Precisely. You display awards, certificates, photos from sports, activities, fun outings, pictures with friends.
And concrete proof of their accomplishments and positive experiences.
It visually reinforces their successes and builds that crucial self-confidence. It's a simple but powerful tool.
I love that. Okay, shifting to the playroom. Play is so important. How do we make that space functional?
Zoning. Dalgliesh is big on zoning the playroom. It helps structure the space and fosters connection and independent skills.
Okay, zone one.
An active zone. This is for movement and exercise, which is often really calming and focusing for sensory kids.
What kind of stuff goes there?
Mini trampolines, weighted balls, maybe beanbag chairs for crashing into, foam blocks, gym rings for swinging if you have space, even a small plastic slide. Things for physical input.
Got it. Active zone. What else?
A quiet zone. A dedicated space for reading, listening to music, or audiobooks.
So maybe a comfy beanbag chair, a small bookshelf, headphones.
Exactly. And visual labels help. A sign that says the quiet zone clearly signals its purpose.
Makes sense. Then maybe an art or learning zone.
Yep. A small table or workspace. And importantly, labeled clear drawer systems for art supplies.
Labeled drawers like Play-Doh, crayons, easy to find, easy to clean up.
You got it. Minimizes frustration. Then maybe a building zone.
For Legos, kayaks, blocks, puzzles.
Right. Again, shelving with clear, labeled bins for each type of building item contains the chaos.
And finally, a free play zone.
Mm-hmm. That's where all the other toys live, for more undirected, imaginative play.
And Dalgliesh mentions bringing in their fascination.
Oh, this is such a lovely point. Many sensory kids have these really distinct fascinations, right? Pokemon, Star Wars, trains, weather, whatever it is.
Yeah, they can get really intensely focused on something.
So incorporating those into the playroom books about it, posters, maybe related toys or music, provides instant comfort.
It connects the space to their world, makes it feel safe and welcoming.
Exactly. It's a powerful way to make the environment instantly relatable and calming for them.
Okay, moving into daily routines. Predictability is obviously huge. How do we
Yeah.
build that in visually?
Central message areas are fantastic for this. A whiteboard, a monthly calendar, maybe a shared family app.
To visually map out the schedule, school, after-school activities.
And color coding can really boost clarity. Maybe blue for school days, green for therapy appointments, orange for sports.
Giving them that quick visual cue. What about managing time within routines?
Timers, especially visual timers like the time timer.
The ones where they can actually see the time passing?
Yeah, exactly. They're brilliant for setting expectations around homework duration, chores, screen time limits.
And the book suggests letting the timer be the bad guy.
Yeah. Instead of you nagging, the timer signals the transition. It takes you out of that disciplinary role, which can diffuse a lot of potential conflict.
Smart. But what about when routines have to change? That can be a huge trigger.
It absolutely can. Preparation is everything here.
Talk about it ahead of time.
Definitely. And provide a revised visual aid showing the change. Dalgliesh even suggests creating a simple symbol like a little star or something.
That means a change is coming.
Right. Put it on the central message area. It gives them that instant visual heads up, helping them mentally prepare before the change actually hits.
Visual aids seem key for almost everything. What about daily tasks?
Oh, yeah. Laminated checklists are great. Or small whiteboards for daily schedules or chore lists.
Things they can check off.
And that checking off, it's actually great training for their executive function skills.
Right, that brain control, tower planning, organizing, follow-through.
Exactly. The book mentions a mom who used a pocket chart. Her daughter flipped over a card for each step of the morning routine she completed.
Like pack, backpack, pick clothes, brush teeth. Gives that tangible sense of progress.
Totally. And for bigger transitions or new experiences, booklets.
Like the story about Tommy starting kindergarten.
Yes. That's such a perfect example. His parents made a homemade picture book, My New School.
With real photos of the school, the bus, his classroom teacher.
Even a picture of him by the toilet, because flushing toilets was his specific fascination and point of anxiety.
It gave him this tangible sequential map of what to expect. Reduced the fear of the unknown.
Immensely. Social stories, developed by Carol Gray, serve a similar purpose.
Providing that literal visual info on what to expect socially, how to respond.
Exactly. Reduces anxiety in new situations. And then there's the I Can Do It book.
Which is like their personal success binder.
A binder filled with awards, certificates, photos, highlighting past successes and achievements.
So when they're feeling down or anxious about trying something new.
They can flip through it and get that visual reminder. Hey, I've done hard things before. I can do this.
Yeah.
It's like their own personal cheerleader.
Okay, so routines are vital, but life isn't always predictable. How do you teach flexibility without totally undermining that need for structure?
It's a balance. Dalgliesh suggests starting small and starting with fun. Like spontaneously going for ice cream before dinner, just once. A low-stakes surprise.
Okay. And rewarding flexibility when you see it.
Definitely. Implement random rewards when your child handles a change well or lets a sibling go first when they usually wouldn't. Catch them being flexible.
Reinforce that behavior positively.
You can also consciously train for surprises. Maybe offer a choice between two favorite activities.
So you know they'll likely be happy with either outcome, but it introduces that element of choosing between options.
Right. And when they are being inflexible, empower them with choices within the situation.
Like, okay, you need a bath. Do you want the blue bath mat or the green one? This shampoo or that one?
Exactly. Bath or shower. It gives them a sense of control within the necessary structure. They get to practice making decisions in a safe way.
Now let's tackle the really tough stuff. Tantrums, explosive episodes, meltdowns. What's the first thing parents need to remember?
Crucially, no, you're not a bad parent. Dalgliesh really emphasizes this.
Because our reactions might be inconsistent sometimes.
Exactly. These episodes are hard to witness. They vary so much. It's completely normal to struggle with how to respond consistently. Give yourself grace.
Okay, that's important. So, what practical strategies can help?
A, how to calm down schedule. Again, visual.
Pictures and words showing the steps.
Like 1, go to your fort and get your blanket. 2, play with your favorite calming toys. 3, read some books.
4, when you feel calm, find mom or dad.
Something like that. The key is to review it together when the child is calm, so they know the plan. Then post it somewhere accessible, like their chill-out zone.
And incorporating their fascinations during a meltdown.
Yes. Huge help. It provides an instant calming focus point, something safe and predictable for their brain to latch onto.
And Dalgliesh advises removing the human element as much as possible.
During the peak of it, yes. Let the visual schedule guide them. Avoid direct interaction or trying to reason with them until they start to regulate.
Prevents escalating things into a power struggle.
Right. It gives them space to process without added social pressure.
What about after the meltdown?
Post-meltdown notes can be incredibly effective, like the example in the book of Beth's dad.
Right, she had a meltdown over math homework.
And later, her dad left her a note acknowledging it was hard, offering solutions like, maybe I can do the first problem with you, or how about we only do the even numbers?
And reinforcing his love and belief in her.
Exactly. It models empathy, acknowledges the struggle without judgment, and offers concrete help. It reconnects after the storm.
So it's about setting realistic expectations too, isn't it? There's no magic wand.
Absolutely not. These systems aren't about eliminating meltdowns entirely. They're about reducing the frequency and intensity over time.
And the parent's role is to try and detach emotionally, stay calm, and model that appropriate response.
That's the goal. It's hard, but it's crucial. That calm presence is so regulating.
Okay, what about less structured times? Like summer break, that can be tough too.
Definitely. Adjust that central message area. Include camps, trips, but also just general downtime expectations for the week.
Keep some structure even when school's out.
Encourage things like summer reading clubs. And Dalgliesh suggests using the extra time for organizing 101.
Teaching basic skills.
Yeah, simple things like packing their own lunch, breaking it down step by step. You do the sandwich, they pack the drink, snack, fruit. Use the time to build skills.
Good idea. Now, what about overwhelming situations away from home? Parties, travel, these can be landmines.
Oh, definitely. So much information overload, attention challenges, those executive function deficits kicking in.
Preparation is key again, I'm guessing.
Absolutely critical. Use those social stories or picture books for specific events.
Like the Chuck E. Cheese party book example, with photos of the actual place, the games.
Exactly. Make the unknown known. There are also apps that can help.
Like Model Me Kids, for visual models of common things like haircuts or going to a restaurant.
And Proloquo to go for kids who struggle with verbal communication. And always, always prepare a portable chill zone.
A go bag of comfort items.
Yep. Favorite books, small toys, music and headphones, maybe a weighted lab blanket, safe food treats. Have it ready in the car or find a quiet corner where you can stash it.
Having that predictable escape hatch.
Makes a world of difference. And timing. This is huge.
Arrive early, leave early.
Generally, yes. Arrive early to avoid the biggest crowds, let your child scope things out and acclimatize, and leave before they get totally exhausted or overwhelmed. Aim for a positive exit.
And really knowing your child's signals is crucial.
You have to become an expert reader of your child. What are their specific verbal cues? Nonverbal signs. Behavioral shifts. Physical signs of overwhelm. Know them inside out.
And when they start showing those signs,
You tap into those tools. Distraction, choice, and fascination.
redirect them, give them some control back, connect them to something comforting.
Exactly. Like, wow, look over there. Is that like the train you love? Or would you like to sit here with me for a minute or go get a drink of water? Or, hey, I saw Ann brought her SpongeBob book. Maybe we could find a quiet spot and look at it.
It's also reframing their behavior, isn't it? Remembering that it's often a request for help.
That's such a vital mindset shift. Rigidity, explosions, getting stuck on rules, saying, no one likes me. These can all be signals.
Signals of frustration, confusion, anxiety.
Right. So try to disconnect from the behavior itself and focus on the underlying need they're trying to communicate, however awkwardly.
Okay, and travel planning specifically. Big trips.
Create a family trip book, like a social story for the whole vacation.
A visual map of the trip.
Chronological?
Pictures of places you'll go, people you'll see, maybe notes about when they can engage with their fascinations. Review it daily leading up to the trip.
What about air travel? Airports can be sensory chaos.
show them online videos of airports, security lines beforehand, and utilize TSA cares.
They offer accommodations.
Yes, things like different security screening options, help getting through, pre-boarding, look into it ahead of time, and pack sensory survival gear.
Earplugs, noise-blocking headphones, gum for pressure changes, sensory toys, favorite books.
And maybe even a doctor's note explaining their needs, just in case.
Wow. Okay, so beyond the home and outings, building a comprehensive support team is essential for the long haul. Absolutely vital. This isn't something you do alone. It's about having people around you who get it, who understand your parenting philosophy.
And being open to trying different evidence-based things, knowing it might be trial and error.
Exactly. And crucially, seeking support for yourself as the parent. You need support too.
So who are the key players on this team Dalgliesh suggests considering?
Well, your pediatrician is often the starting point, right? Your ground level guide. Good journaling really helps them help you.
And early intervention, EI, for kids under 3.
Yes, free evaluations and services for developmental delays. Huge resource in those critical early years.
Then speech therapy.
If there are challenges with expressing needs, vocabulary, conversation, following directions, speech therapy helps unlock communication.
Occupational therapy, OT.
OT is huge for sensory kids. They help with motor and behavior challenges by figuring out that just right amount of sensory support, enough to challenge but not overwhelm. They help kids regulate.
Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
CBT focuses on that connection between thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. It uses tangible, often visual tools to help kids shift their thinking patterns. Really effective for anxiety, OCD, ADHD.
Then you have the medical specialists, pediatric psychiatrists.
They're the MDs who manage mental health issues and can prescribe medication, usually working alongside a therapist.
Pediatric neurologists.
They deal with nervous system issues, seizures, head injuries, but also developmental and behavioral disorders.
And pediatric neuropsychologists, what's their role?
They really dive deep into brain function and behavior. They use standardized tests to assess cognitive functions.
Like attention, executive function, language, memory, processing speed.
Exactly. To get a detailed picture, help with diagnosis, and outline really specific support plans, therapies, educational strategies, medication recommendations.
Okay, so with all these professionals
Right.
comes a mountain of paperwork.
Oh, does it ever? And Dalgliesh stresses how crucial organizing this is for effective advocacy.
She recommends 3 binders.
Yeah. Medical therapy and education. Keeps things separate but accessible.
Any tips for tackling that paper monster?
Just start. Create a staging area. Use good materials, sturdy binders, clear labels, page protectors. Keep things in chronological order within sections.
Archive older stuff periodically.
And maybe create a virtual filing system that mirrors the physical one for quick digital access or sharing.
And the therapy binder specifically should hold.
All the info from those long-term therapies, EI reports, speech goals, OT strategies, CBT worksheets, visual aids you use, behavior lists.
Social stories, social rules you've worked on.
Exactly. Important phone numbers. It becomes your go-to resource for all those therapeutic strategies.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk school. Advocating there is a big piece too. Medication at school.
Standard guidelines usually apply.
Yeah.
Need statements from you and the doctor, meds in original labeled containers, trained staff to administer, secure storage, logs. Clear procedures are key.
And understanding the difference between an IEP and a 504 plan, that can be confusing.
It can. An IEP, Individualized Education Plan, comes from Federal Special Education Law, IDEA. It's for kids 321 whose disability impacts their learning.
And it guarantees FAPE, free and appropriate public education, in the LRE, least restrictive environment. Includes related services like OT or speech.
Right. The school district is legally accountable for providing those services outlined in the IEP. A 504 plan comes from civil rights law.
The Rehabilitation Act.
It ensures kids with disabilities have equal access to education and protects against discrimination. It provides accommodations.
So maybe things like preferential seating, extra time on tests, sensory breaks.
Exactly. Accommodations to level the playing field, even if they don't need specialized instruction like an IEP provides. Knowing the difference helps you advocate effectively.
And building consistency between home and school is important too.
Huge. Reinforce the strategies. Use the same wording or pictures for schedules if possible. Consistent color coding. Maybe the same outline formats for writing.
Creating that predictable bridge between the 2 main environments in their life?
Yes. Reduces cognitive load and confusion. And for homework.
Oh, homework.
The bane of many families' existence.
Right. Work with the teacher, Set realistic expectations, maybe focus on mastering core concepts rather than slogging through every single problem or assignment.
Quality over quantity sometimes, finding where the real learning value is.
Exactly. Figure out what's truly necessary versus what might just be busy work causing unnecessary stress.
Finally, supporting the whole family and the wider network. What about interacting with other parents?
Dalgliesh suggests being gently open about it. You don't need to overshare, but maybe just acknowledging your child is sensory. Be open to questions if they come. Invite feedback sometimes.
Normalize it a bit, reduce potential judgment.
And sibling support is crucial too.
Acknowledge what they're seeing, right? The meltdowns, the tricky transitions.
Yes, validate their experience in a matter-of-fact way. And maybe have different expectations sometimes. If one sibling's hyper-focus during chores triggers the sensory sibling, maybe adjust the chore chart.
Recognizing everyone's needs within the family system. Exactly. And for babysitters or caregivers, don't let challenging behavior stop you from getting a break.
Sometimes that change of guard can actually help, right?
It often does. Pick calmer times for your outings if possible. Be super clear on emergency contacts, medical info, and importantly, when they should call you.
Like if the behavior impacts other kids, if the sitter feels truly uncomfortable, or any threats of harm.
Right. Empower them with information and clear guidelines so they feel confident and you feel comfortable leaving.
Wow. Okay, this has been an incredibly thorough deep dive into the sensory child gets organized.
It really covers so much ground.
We've unpacked understanding the diagnoses, the power of objective observation, that fantastic golden tool.
Creating those supportive home environments, managing daily routines and challenges, building the support team.
It's a truly comprehensive toolkit.
And what really comes through is that supporting a sensory child, it isn't about finding one single magic bullet, is it?
No, it's really a journey. Understanding, consistency, adapting the strategies as they grow.
Exactly. And what's so powerful, I think, is that when you implement these systems, you're not just organizing closets or schedules.
You're actively building their confidence. Yeah.
And teaching them those crucial lifelong executive function skills. You're giving them tools for life.
So thinking about all this, what does it really mean for you listening right now?
Maybe consider this. How can shifting your perspective, viewing your child's challenges not just as problems, but as opportunities for specific, structured support, how can that change things?
It feels like it could transform not just their daily life, but really the peace, the connection, the understanding within the entire family.